This is the Beyond Straight Street podcast, and welcome to Morning Minutes for Monday, March 31st, 2025. Our theme for today is Big M's and Small G's. In the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verses 3 through 5, it says, "But from the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, God said, 'You shall not eat from it, or touch it, or you will die.' The serpent said to the woman, 'You surely will not die, for God knows that in the day that you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you'll be like God, knowing good and evil.'" In my Bible, the NASB, the words you, me, him, God, he, and the Spirit, when referring to God, are always capitalized to emphasize and remind us who's being spoken about. An interesting and dangerous contrast is the way we tend to reverse that emphasis in our own lives. Too often, we make ourselves the capital M and God the little g by our priorities and our actions. In the Genesis verse we just read, the serpent's words got Eve to do exactly that. The bad news is that we still believe that lie in some shape or form pretty much every day. The good news is that Satan's attack strategy has not changed in all these millennia. If he can get you to take your eyes, hearts, and minds off God and focus them on yourselves and your circumstances, he wins. Game over. The enemy would have us believe that there's nothing more important than what we want and how we feel. It's as simple as that. The attack may take different forms, but the message is always the same. You are God. Doing for yourself and focusing on yourself is the way to get wisdom and prosperity. You will be like God. Promise. Sounds tempting, right? That's why it continues to stymie and disrupt the lives of millions of us still today. Every single issue in our society and personal lives can be traced back to that one event in the garden. Pay careful attention to what the serpent said. Satan will always combine the truth of God with some sort of counterfeit. It'll always sound reasonable and sometimes even pious. But if you listen carefully enough, there's always a me first in there somewhere. That's your cue to stop listening and tell him where he can go with his nonsense. Thankfully, the solution is as simple as the attack. John the Apostle tells us in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1 to test every spirit to see if it's from God. So what does that look like? Well, the apostle goes on in the next few verses to say, if any spirit does not confess Jesus Christ as Lord, that is the spirit of the Antichrist. Now, do demons actually verbally confess Jesus or deny him? Well, not exactly, but I'll give you one easy step to discern what sort of spirit is speaking to you. Look up the fruit of the Spirit in the book of Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. If by any idea being conveyed to you, there is good fruit, in other words, love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, patience, or self-control, that is the same as confessing Jesus Christ as Lord in the spirit realm. On the other hand, if when you contrast any thought or notion against the same fruit and it does not align or agree, you're dealing with something altogether different. The book of James tells us in chapter 4, verse 7 of his epistle to elevate God by de-elevating ourselves, then resist the enemy by giving him no opportunity. What happens then? When we resist him, he literally turns tail and runs like the little worm that he is. So as the apostle Paul says in the book of Ephesians chapter 4, verses 24 through 27, let's put on the new self, which in the likeness of God has been created in righteousness, and do not give the devil an opportunity. I can personally guarantee you that in doing so, you will never be disappointed. You will be blessed, and you will be a blessing. So to close, let's read this verse from the book of Numbers, chapter 23 and verse 19. It says, God is not man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent. He has said, and will he not do it? Or he has spoken, and will he not make it good? Folks, we serve the unchanging, immovable King of the universe. His words to us will never focus us centrally on self, on things, or on the approval of people. His will for us is first an abiding relationship with him, and secondly, the outpouring of love that comes from living out that abundance only he can provide. So as you go out today, guard your hearts and minds. In your thought lives, consider the source. And then go take some ground for the kingdom. And until next time, be blessed, and I love you all.